What's up?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of Top 90 Podcast. We are here together. We are here today live with you guys. Sorry, as we already start out mincing my words. My name's Garrett, and I got my buddy over here.
Oh, you want me to tell you who I am?
All right. All those years in broadcasting schools paid off for you, Monty.
The glasses are throwing me off. I'm looking at myself right now, and I'm seeing the glasses, and it's
You're
just
like, I
really
don't know that
screwing
guy.
my entire head up.
Like, I don't know that guy.
So, yeah, you're Garrett. I'm Rich.
Yeah, what's up, everybody? Joining you on a pretty packed out night of hockey. Got 11 games on the slate. Most of the early ones have already gone, are in the process of going final, or already have gone final. Some pretty good games.
Yeah,
For me, I think the marquee game was probably the Florida Panthers Hurricane game.
Yeah. It's two teams that are both on incredible roles in their own rights.
Both
Florida's
at the top, near the top of the division.
Yeah, Florida's got that road winning streak with 10 or 11 games. What is it? They're going for
and
it's quite a few. But then you got the Hurricanes, who have one of the highest points percentages in the in the league, and they've done a lot of that. I'd say, what would you say? Probably, what are we, 60 games deep? I don't even know.
I think so. I
definitely
heard,
the back 2/3 of the season.
Yeah, I think every team is under 30 games left in the season. So we're definitely down the home stretch of the season, this is when things start to get crazy. A couple of weeks we'll have the trade deadline, starting to shape out with how these teams are going to fall with the playoff spots. But so that game wound up going final 1-0 in favor of the
Florida Panthers.
Yeah, I'm having a freaking mind.
So that's how many? I'm sure that's a headline. How many is that in a row now?
Let's see.
Rather check it out real quick. So yeah, the Panthers, they're just rolling. They're one of those teams. They just get rolling. They're dangerous.
They are. And, they got that playoff
Bobrovsky
experience.
Is locked in. He is locked in. That's a 29 save shutout in Carolina. That team. Carolina won.
Okay, what
was their disallowed goal, Garrett?
Didn't I show you and you said that Florida was up 1-0? I guess maybe they took the goal back.
They might have taken the goal back. Yeah, apparently. So the Florida Panthers did not win and extend their road winning streak, but yet the Carolina Hurricanes at home did what they do. And 44 save shutout for Kochetkov. I mean, that's impressive. He's really stepped in. And I'll be real. I mean, if he's going to be that guy, that's a team that is definitely poised to maybe make it around further.
Yeah, he's going to have to be.
Because they play that playoff style hockey all year long, keeps them a little bit ahead of the game. And, for when playoffs come. And they just, focused and cohesive, and they have a purpose, and it's Florida's similar. It was definitely the marquee matchup of the night, and I unfortunately didn't get to see most of it. I was busy watching the rivalry game, the Devils Rangers, where the Rangers kind of just like had their way with the Devils a little bit.
Yeah, now that game's 5-0 Rangers.
5-0. That's really what we need here. And there, what is that, like 9 in a row for them now? That's
Rangers have won 9 in a row, going for 10, I think, if they win tonight.
Amidst that 9 in a row, there was I'd say 2 games ago. Collapse. Yeah, they were on the ropes 5-3 in the outdoor stadium series game at MetLife.
MetLife, yeah, and 2.
You know what? It was 2 penalties, Gary. Let's be real. It was 2 penalties. It was. If you had to take a guess, if somebody told you what happened, you didn't see the game, and you're like, oh, there was 2 really bad penalties taken by 2 different players. I guarantee you, if you had 3 cracks, you'd be able to get it maybe on 2.
Yeah.
But it was Mayfield and it was Barzal. I mean, the other answer could have been Lee. He doesn't have many, but he takes those really
He
bad
takes
ones
them
at
at the
bad
worst
times.
times for sure.
So, like, yeah, and sure as shit. Mayfield, Barzal, and then Barzal, of course, he took the penalty that they didn't even. I can't
You can't even think it
because it happens all year, and we talked about it last time when we talked about the Islanders a lot. They showed a stat where they showed the top 10 or the top 10 teams in the league as far as leading or trailing for the fewest amount of minutes. So, that means they're not losing very often in hockey games. They just happen to do it at the end.
Yeah.
So that it's a problem. And it shows that they can compete. But it shows it shows the goalie's playing over his head and still not succeeding. And he could still be better, but like they all could be so much better. And there's certain guys on the team, like I feel like Holmstrom and even Wallstrom. He's just snake bitten. He's all over the place, hitting posts. Getting chances.
Not getting the luck. It's not. And I might not be going in for him, but he's playing a good game. He's playing the right game. Wallstrom's playing. Holmstrom is playing well. He's kind of tailed off with his play a little bit as far as goal scoring and stuff, but he's still kind of productive on the third line.
Right.
Him and Pajot were magic at the beginning of the season on the PK, and the special teams for the Islanders just falling the fuck apart.
Well, they're the worst in the league on the penalty kill, but their power play is
good.
Strangely, I think it's 7th in the league or something.
Yeah. And
like 23.4%. It's like, what?
Yeah, and that's something where the Islanders have always struggled.
Yeah,
and especially in the playoffs. That was something that killed them. It killed them last season against the Hurricane. It killed them against Washington a couple years ago. It was more than a couple years ago, but it kills them. It kills them all the time. They always are perennially terrible on the power play. I remember they brought in, when Lamoriello came around, they brought in famously the power play special teams coach for Toronto. That didn't last because he didn't do anything for them. And they were like, oh, yeah, well, Toronto's got a little bit different personnel to be getting out of, squeezing the most out of than the Islanders. But either way, the Islanders did what they do best. They're kind of an old team. They're kind of under-skilled. They're slow for the most part. And late in games, you can just see that age catches up to them. And then
the lack of composure to not do stupid things.
Yeah.
You can blame age, but Mayfield, I don't even think he might be 30. I don't think he is. I think he's under 30. I think he's a little under 30. But Barzal, Jesus, what is he, 25? 20?
Yeah, Barzal's not. Yeah, he's not old.
He's got no excuse to be taking lazy penalties, hooks in midsection from behind. Like, you're not going to stop the guy, so why even take the penalty? Why even do it? And it's a reflex that they can't. Some guys just can't break the habit.
And with Barzal too, when I said that they lack speed, Barzal is the one guy on that team that you can't say lacks speed, because you saw in the All-Star game he was one of the fastest skaters in the All-Star team. In the All-Star game, he came in second, and he came in first the last time he was in the All-Star game, faster than McDavid. So he's got speed. So that's not the problem. He just is lazy. And that's the problem. He's lazy. And when he stops moving his feet, then then he starts taking penalties.
Right.
And selfishly, going back to the Rangers are now 5-1 against the Devils. And for my parlay, the over, I need
half a goal.
I need one goal, because right now it's all greens. Look at that, green.
Oh, that game's still on?
This one. Look at that.
How much time is that?
1:04.
Oh.
Yo. I need, for a miracle.
You just need a trash goal.
I need some sort of trash goal.
The Rangers like, oh, we got it all locked up. Or the Devils like, oh, fuck it, we lost. And one way or another, someone gets an easy one.
I need something.
We need that.
I need something.
I think Hughes is
47 seconds. It's done.
Come on, Hughes is good for like a late goal for
Okay.
stats. Come on.
You got to be kidding me. I'm going to lose out on that by 1.5 goal.
Yeah, it happened to me. I lost by
Yeah.
1 yesterday, but
It's tough. It's
Part of the game.
yeah,
It's why we play the game.
I
But
thought
anyway.
there was gonna be goals too, Garrett. I had a bunch of scores in that game, so I thought it was going over.
Yeah, I mean, I took a lot of player props for that Panthers Carolina game.
Yeah, well, unless they were shots on goal, that's no good.
Yeah, that one went to bed. But what are you gonna do? So what else? Other than the Islanders continually to implode.
Yeah, I mean the
Um,
Rangers are thriving. The Devils are continuing to struggle.
Yeah,
And that's a team that everybody expected a lot from, especially once they got used back. They're like, oh, now they got used back, so everything should be,
but
okay. But they're struggling every night. Their lines look a little different.
And and I think they put a little bit too much on Akira Schmidt being better than what he showed in the playoffs. I think they kind of caught lightning in a bottle in that Rangers series, and they caught the Rangers maybe at the best, maybe kind of just overlooking their opponent and kind of just sleepwalking the rest of the series. I mean, Akira, he played phenomenal. He played a very good game, but
he played a few good games.
Yeah,
he was very good.
I didn't
just locked in, just absolutely locked in.
Yeah,
and that's all it takes. And a good goalie could just get locked in. Aiden Hill is a great example.
Absolutely.
He was never a great goalie. I mean, he's actually got really good numbers this year, but since he's come back from injury, he just hasn't been as good consistently. He's had a couple of bad nights. He's got Toronto tonight, so good luck to him. Austin Matthews has been on a fucking tear.
Yeah,
he's got 50. He's got 50 already.
Yeah.
And in this era, I think he didn't quite get 50 and 50, but he got a game awfully close.
Yeah.
It's unreal. The guy, if you watch him, I mean, he just takes these shots that they come off the stick so quick, and it doesn't look like he puts that much into it, but his eyes are where he wants to shoot. Boom, just in the net.
Yep.
And it's
fun
crazy.
to watch.
I mean, that's why he was the consensus #1 pick that year, because the talent was obvious.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And he's got some good guys around him, getting him the puck. They move the puck around well.
Yeah.
And
he's been playing with those guys for a while, so he's got a lot of continuity with those guys, which helps. I mean, the guy who can fit in anywhere, but he knows where these guys are going to be. And they know where he's going to be.
Yeah, it's it's one of those things where teams scout. When they do scouting before to prepare for teams, you look at that first line and you're like, okay, Nyes is the worker. You got Matthews and Marner. So Marner works hard too, man. He's shown me a lot the last couple of years. That guy's up the ice, down the ice. He's all over the place, and he has a resiliency about him that is just unreal. He could just stay out there. He's kind of like Barzal, except for that he's more effective, I think, to be fair. But yeah, I mean, how do you prepare for that? And then they have very able defensemen who move the puck extremely well. Morgan Riley, Liljegren's been very good. He had a couple assists the other night. They were primaries. They're coming off his stick and ending up on the scorer's tape and going in. So
we were joking about it the other night that Tavares was on playing on the third line now, right?
Yeah, he had a power play point though. I knew he was.
He had a goal, power play goal.
Oh, it was a goal.
Yeah, because I had him
plus 300 on the power play point.
Yeah, I had him for anytime goal. I just knew it was. I mean, as much as that guy's got too much pride. You drop him to the third line, it takes away a lot of his, the ability for the matchups, which is for that guy it always helps. So it's whatever. Tavares is always going to be there and score a goal. It just seems like no matter what, as much as us Islander fans hate Maple Leafs and hate Tavares, you got to admit thankfully for the Islander fans, they don't win when it counts.
Right.
Collectively, they don't win, but individually, their players are very fun to watch, and they put up points. And
yeah, you get enough guys who are that good in from blue line to opposing goalie crease. I mean, you're literally, you almost don't have a chance most nights. You have to play perfect defense, perfect structure.
Oh, because
then, you know, they're still so skilled. Like a Nylander is going to get you. You know, even they got Max Domi, Bertuzzi. They're deep.
And they made those moves because it was supposed to make them a little more physical, you know. And that's what they always lacked over the years. That physicality.
Yeah. I mean, did you see? I'm sorry to be. Did you see? We talked about the Rangers already. The thing we didn't talk about was there's a first ever scenario happened where a Rangers player made his debut at a Stadium Series game. So like the whole thing about
to be
that,
the coolest shit ever. It's got to be super freaking.
Well, yeah, he did the lap, and you know, was outside in the stadium. I mean, it's definitely the most amazing lap ever that any player's ever experienced, and it went to this kid Rempe. But I gotta tell you, you know, like there was a little bit of mutual respect between him and Martin that went on, and Martin just showed the kind of class act he is. You know, it's a rivalry. Big. They're supposed to hate each other, but you know what? He's a sportsman, and that's why, you know, he's an Islander, and you know, he's been a little bit rough the last couple of years, but you know, he's an Islander. But back to Rempe, he dropped the gloves, and that was his first game. It was, I think, it wasn't his first shift, right? It was inside the first 5 minutes.
I think it might have been his first shift.
Okay,
might have been his second shift.
So
the Islanders were already up 2-0 by then.
Yeah, so
2-1 rather.
He showed some toughness.
3-1 because they scored so quickly. Yeah, and then it fell apart even quicker.
He showed toughness. So that was a rivalry game there. And then he comes into the game tonight, right? And he came off the bench and absolutely ran Nate Bastian. And like they reviewed it for like it had to be almost 5 minutes because they were trying to determine if it was like a major. It was a weird situation.
There's been a lot of those. I don't mean to cut you up, but there's been a lot of those where there's been a couple of instances where they're like kind of like turning or kind of like like extending their arm as a player's hitting into them.
This was a case of the guy is 6'7".
Yeah,
and the point of contact. Actually, they weren't sure if it was an elbow. It looked like it was above the elbow, the arm, but it hit him right in the head, like caught him really good. Bastian's nose started pouring out, shit. And then he went to get up and like almost had like a concussion stumble. So like they reviewed it, and he got the match penalty and got tossed out, got an additional 2 minutes for roughing. So the kid's got a little bit to learn, because although you could deem the actual contact is clean, the initial point of contact was the dude's fucking head. So like that's a problem, and it's tough for a kid who's trying to make an impact. I don't fault him. I don't know what kind of reputation he has.
It's also hard because the kid's so fucking big,
right? And so you gotta. We'll see what happens. Like even a couple of Trouba's hits, like it's just because the dude's a beast and he's a monster.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Trouba,
some of them are dirty and he does dirty things, but
Trouba does a lot of dirty things.
But he makes some really clean hits that are brutal.
He definitely.
To the opposition.
You know, that Trouba train thing is but like there's a lot of things where it's like, that two-handed swing that he didn't even, he had like
I don't even want to get into Trouba really, but
then they got the other play where everybody's like, oh, he shouldn't even get fined or whatever. That was
I can't stand that guy, and Ranger fans love him, but that's typical.
Yeah, I mean, if he was on the Islanders and he was the fucking anchor in our fucking, we'd be like, Trouba's the fucking man, Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I call it the way I see it, and dirty is dirty.
Yeah.
And, I think even Martin, who's a class act most of the time, I believe he did something dirty one game, and I'm like, oh, Matty, that was filth, man.
And, there were – I think I remember there was one where –
It was actually two, but one was the retaliation against the Penguins way back.
Okay. I know there was definitely been a couple instances where I've been like, damn. That's something that can't go. But there's all, for the most part, watching the Islanders over all these years, and seeing all these things that like go on with other teams and other players that do different dirty things. Really, if you think about it, like Chris Simon was like really like the one thing where you're just like, fuck, I don't want to be an Islander fan. Like I'm embarrassed.
The Trevor Gillies thing was pretty bad too. But the Chris Simon thing is like, I mean, that's McSorley. That's pretty much it's on the level of McSorley and like a hair below the level of like Bertuzzi.
For sure.
Yeah, like, I mean, it wasn't much because although the result wasn't,
because there wasn't as much.
It could have been so much
definitely
worse.
Could have been.
He could have
and the look of
damaged the guy.
Yeah, the look of it wasn't really good. Wasn't the optics for sure were definitely fucked.
Yeah, I don't know if this was real or not, but I saw something on social media that said Donald Brashear drops the gloves at 52 and gets lit up. I don't know if we could pull that up or find some footage, but
let's see.
I mean, he was a guy that you never wanted to mess with.
No, that guy was like massive.
When Donald Brashear used to, he was around, it would be our tough guys, Aaron Asham, guys that could throw, but
not the size of Donald.
Brashear he was just
like
tough.
when we had like our big boys, we didn't have we didn't have but not when Brashear was around. Not when we had Ken fucking Bookaboom and Jeff Bookaboom rather, and
Ken Baumgartner.
Ken Baumgartner and fucking
Mick
Vakota, Rich Pilon and stuff.
What's up, Mick? Maybe he's. I doubt he's watching. Yeah, you never know.
We always had some big boys.
Yeah. Mick wouldn't be watching. Maybe Richie Pilon.
Mr. Pilon.
Check us out, Richie.
Oh, you guys should. Anybody who likes hockey should lose a couple hockey brain cells listening to Tops.
I mean, we drop some fun.
We drop a little bit of knowledge amongst our idiocracies.
Yeah.
So
what do you want to talk about now?
I want to talk about Ovechkin.
Let's talk about Ovechkin.
I want to talk Ovechkin. You know why I want to talk Ovechkin?
Why do you want to talk about Ovechkin?
Because the guy is phenomenal. He is probably one of the best pure goal scorers that I've got to watch from start to finish. He's probably got the craziest highlights of goal scoring highlights of any fucking player that you can see. Maybe Datsuk. You can put Datsuk in there.
Jaromir Jagr.
Jagr's got some crazy ones. Lemieux too, but if you just look at the goals,
so many from Lemieux back in the day. Oh my god!
Just the speed that he would do it at, and just I don't know. Ovechkin was one of the few. Messier was also in this similar elk where he could pass, he can score, and he can fucking hit.
Yeah,
and
he can fight,
and he wouldn't shy away from that.
Right.
Crosby, look, in the beginning of Crosby's career, he was the epitome of just a crybaby. He shied away from any physical play,
entitled,
and he would complain about everything.
Back in the day,
back in the day, he's progressed. He's gotten better.
Oh, and he's amazing.
Now he's just lets his play do all the talking, and he's grown up, and he's still fucking doing it. He's still he's on the pace for 45 goals this season, 50 goals this season.
Crosby?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Because he's got 30 something goals.
30?
Or close to it. Maybe not 30, but he's definitely close to. I think he's on pace for 35.
He's got a lot of points. I know he's got a lot of points.
I think he's on pace for 35 goals. I could be wrong. I'm wrong.
He doesn't even have a lot of points, in fairness, and this is absolutely crazy.
Let's see.
But Noah Dobson.
He's got 31. He's got 31 goals.
Noah Dobson, our defenseman, has more points than Sidney Crosby. Yeah. How fucking insane is that? But anyway, let's continue on Crosby.
But Crosby's got 31 goals.
Oh, he's got 31. So this is a weird season for him.
Yeah, 31
I don't
goals.
Think he's ever scored more goals than had assists. Yeah. He's always been a visionary on the ice and setting guys up. And
he was always one of those losing pitchers, as they call them, because they always had more assists than the goals.
Yeah. It's crazy, all the elite talent that's like not all the way at the top. Yeah. It's just a very deep league now.
It's so deep, and I love it. It's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, look who's tied for 5th, JT Miller, for Christ's sake.
He was at the top of the league for a little while.
Yeah. I mean, him, Panarin, Matthews will have 75. And that's what's crazy. Matthews has 50 goals and he only has 75 points. That dude, I mean, how many of those assists are probably just rebounds from shots that he didn't score on?
Yeah. Probably most of them. Probably 35% of them.
And it's like he's just like goal.
Yeah. And then just know that whoever is playing on his line, just who knows, go to the net, bang in a rebound, go to the net, bang in a rebound. Either just create fucking havoc in front of the net and don't let the goalie see anything, or fucking bang in a rebound.
Yeah, we'd be wanting Knies to be banging rebounds tonight.
Fuck Knies fucked me yesterday.
Are you serious?
Yeah, because I needed him for a fucking...
Yeah, you figured he'd pick up some garbage from the 2 elite guys on his right.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, well, that's why I went with it. I went with we're gonna call that the Richie special.
It is the Richie special.
The Richie special. I fucking came so close with the Richie special yesterday.
Oh, that's 2-1 now, Calgary Boston.
Calgary's fucking good. Calgary's played well since the trade. Yeah.
I just wonder if I have a chance in that one here. Let's see. Oh, no, let's not. I'll check later because it's like ripping a Band-Aid off at this point. I can't control it. But yeah. So
back to
Crosby?
Back to Ovechkin. Because in the forum we were going back. So yeah, Crosby's got 31 goals.
How many goals does Ovechkin have?
Ovechkin's got 16 goals this season.
Most of them are in the last 10 games though.
Yeah, a lot of them have been in the last 10 games. He was so coming into the season. We don't have to say it. Everybody
stuck on 10.
Everybody and anybody who knows anything about hockey already knew that he was chasing Gretzky's record. I personally didn't think he was going to break it, even though he was so close to it. I don't know. I didn't think he was going to break it, and I think it's even less likely that he's going to break it.
It's 892. Am I correct? I mean, I should know that without even having to.
892. Yep.
So it's 892, and he's got 838. So he still needs
50
to tie it. He needs 54.
54,
and then
to break it, he needs 55. Right?
Oh no, he needs. Oh, he said 54. Okay, yeah, 54.
Yeah, so 55 to break it.
55 to break it. So 55 goals.
Let's say he at this pace, on the highest side, he finishes at 25 goals.
And how old is he?
He is in his 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, I don't think he's 40 yet, right? He's like 39, 38, 39. I don't even think he's that old.
This is his 19th season.
And he came in as an 18-year-old. So he's only like 37.
37, 38.
Yeah.
But he always said, and I'm not saying what he's going to do, but he always said that he wants to do this at an elite level. And if he's not doing it at an elite level, he doesn't want to just parade out there and just show up to just for the sake of trying to, I guess, amass a record. Right. Over time, because he stuck around to try and break the record. This is what he's said in interviews.
Okay.
Whether that's the case, if he's 15 goals away from it in 2 seasons, because it's definitely not going to happen this season. And then if you figure his production probably won't go up in his age 40 season, so maybe it stays the same. That gives him another 20 goal season. Still puts him at 30 away. So you figure at that pace, it's got to be at least 3 seasons away, right?
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
look, if he wants to play the long game like Jágr, and he's gonna fucking stick around till fucking 40 something, he's gonna break the record. But if he doesn't want to stick around and just be a fucking, just like an old retired fucking trophy horse, pretty much,
right?
Then I think he just. I think he just was like, I'm happy with what I got. I don't know though.
Well, what's left on his contract?
Oh, that's the other big thing.
So because
I think he might be one more season or 2 more seasons left.
there's option C, obviously, and
There's
that
no
could
way-
be.
There's no way he goes to another team. There's no way he's going to
Well-
another team and he breaks the record anywhere else. I can't imagine that's. There's no scenario that I can see that happening.
Well, I mean, so I just don't know because he's. Where is he even?
Because he
does
signed
have
his
a,
last contract saying that he wants to remain a Capital for the rest of his career, and he signed his last contract for what I think 8 years or 8 years or whatever it was,
Okay.
for the sake of basically finishing out his career as a Capital.
Oh, he's got 3 years left, so
Okay,
he's gonna do it there or probably nowhere unless he's gonna, just stick around to try to do it if he's that close.
I mean, if he's got 3 seasons left, you got to figure that he's going to break the record then.
I mean, you got to. Let's just
because he's less than 60 away right now, and this season's pretty much done. And at the end of the season, he'll probably have 50 something to go, maybe 50. That if he has 50, that'll put him at 21 goals this season, or 22 goals, or whatever it is, whatever the number is. Math is not my strong suit.
okay.
Then he has 3 more seasons after this, or this one and then 2 more.
It says 3. It's this one and then 2 more.
Okay, so then that's 15 and 15 pretty much, or 25. Actually, I'm sorry, no, 25 and 25 over the last 2 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look,
It's not unthinkable.
it's not because look, is it outside of the imagination that Ovechkin is like, fuck, I didn't have a good season. Clearly, I need to go back and like just revamp some things, or maybe he's injured and he's playing through injuries, or maybe because
his supporting his supporting cast is nowhere near.
that's
Like
also
when you look at the centers, right? Like let's just say like his best options are on like the wing are TJ Oshie
Mhm.
and maybe Anthony Mantha. And then you got Dylan Strome in the middle, and that's who he's usually with. I don't know, man. Like, I just think that it's going to be very contingent upon what they do and who's going to play with him, and I think that it's going to be something external.
Yeah.
That they're going to have to do if they want to give him a little bit of help. You never know if this keeps up the way it is, and they're playing pretty good. But if they miss the playoffs and they don't look like they're a team that's getting any better by the end of the year, you never know. He's only got 1 cup. He might want another cup.
I don't know. I can't imagine he goes somewhere else. Really, I really don't. I don't know. I can't imagine it. I could be wrong. I mean, I have more than certainly been wrong on other things, definitely. But I just feel like, I don't know, if Ovechkin, Crosby, I just feel like those are guys that are just going to stay. Taves didn't go anywhere. He retired as a Blackhawk. I don't know. Some of these guys, they just hold on. I got to plug this in real quick.
Yeah. We gonna lose power, yo. Can't lose power.
Oh yeah, back in business, baby.
Back in business.
Okay, that'll stall him for at least another 5 more minutes. Oh yeah.
So
All right.
Ovechkin.
Just breaking down some of his stats, and then Richie was breaking down some of the more micro stats for the last week or so when he's starting to score a couple more goals, which actually feeds into the point that Rich was making about the supporting cast and the like. So just going through the numbers, over Ovechkin's career, he averages 4.7 shots a game. So pretty much 5 shots a game. Right now, this season, he's averaging 3.5. So, but 1.2 shots a game doesn't sound like a lot, but for a shooter, for a guy who, I mean, literally only needs one shot and can score at any moment with that shot, that's huge, And over the course of 51 games, that one less shot per game is the difference between an extra 10 goals, 15 goals,
Right.
So that's a big thing. That's a big thing. And I think it's showing on the power play, because this season the Capitals power play is 25th in the league, which is definitely against the norm for them. Part of that is some of the injuries some of the players that they've lost over the, so that's part of it. And clearly Ovechkin not scoring. That was
right.
a big part of their power play, because he would be parked in his office, as they would call it. Like when you think of 2 spots on the ice, and Wayne Gretzky and Ovechkin pretty much own 2 spots on the ice, and those, that's the office. The office for Ovechkin is his that the circle right above the dot.
Right.
He's deadly, and the office for Gretzky was right behind the net. And those are, you think of the office in hockey, those are the 2 players, right?
Yes.
So, whatever. I guess maybe they're not distributing the puck to him in that spot, and so he's not getting his shot off. I can't imagine that the league, after 19 seasons, has finally caught up to it, which is why there's no reason why goalies have caught up to it at this point. Maybe his velocity is off on his shot. There is a way to look up that advanced stat, which I probably should have looked at, whether his shot is off, because that's also a big part. How fast he's getting the shot off his stick, how fast the shot is going once it gets off his stick. Either way, it's still, I can't imagine that it's enough to fully sway the stat, sway his scoring. I don't know. Those are just things that I was looking into, because I was trying to figure out and see what is leading to the decline. And when you look at his numbers, 16 goals and 25 assists, which is, his assist total is on par for what he normally, his normal total. He normally he's has 54, 46, 47, 54, 59, but then it started to go down: 27, 24, 28, 28, 21, 36, 30. So in the beginning of his career, he was a lot more of a passer. He's still scoring, and then for a little while, he was just scoring goals at an unbelievable rate. And then the last couple seasons, 40, 32. So yeah, 25 isn't really off that pace. He's on pace for if there's maybe 29 games left for him, figure he's going to end up with 34 assists or something. 35 assists should be somewhere around there.
Yeah.
So that number hasn't really dipped. It's just the goal scoring, which is markedly noticeably dipped.
Yeah, I mean, he's just, it's natural at this stage. It's just going to be interesting to see what he does next year, how he comes out of the gate, how he sustains. We'll see if he plays with the same intensity, or if he's more focused on scoring than he is throwing the body, because we all know with Alex Ovechkin, it's not just about the goals. You have to have your head on a swivel, or you're going to get run over by 230 pounds of solid fucking muscle. And he'll do it too.
Oh yeah. And Ovechkin,
but I don't know about in this age. I don't know if he's that willing to. Is he more conscious of his age and is susceptible, like, just naturally susceptible to not being able to endure such, hard. Like, is he going to take a little bit off that end so he can produce a little more? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And especially because, like you said, as you get older, you don't really, recover from, some injuries and from being banged up as much.
Right.
So
you're not as resilient to them. So.
Yeah. And that's a big part of his game. It was always, Ovechkin was always that guy where you're like, don't hit him. Like, especially if he's been quiet through the game and he's, if he's kind of just, not, I don't want to use the word floating around out there, but sometimes if you do watch Ovechkin, it kind of looks like he's floating, but with the utmost purpose.
Mm-hmm.
But like, if you kind of watch him, he kind of just like just like a leaf falling from the ground through the neutral zone and like away from the play. And like, he just like is watching things develop and like, just like picking his perfect spot.
Mm-hmm.
And then he just fucking just goes to the net and he rips a shot, or he just fucking makes a sick move and it's over.
Yeah.
And like, but fuck, where the hell was I going with this?
I don't know, but that you were on a roll. That was pretty good. The leaf thing, that. That was really, it was poetic.
It was poetic justice, baby.
But about Ovechkin, yeah. About his pace, because we're just not sure if he could keep it up.
Yeah. Oh, so that's what. Yeah. So especially if like Ovechkin was like, if it was late in the game and he's been quiet, you're like, whatever you do not fucking hit him, because if you fucking hit him and you wake him up, first he's gonna run through somebody on your team and then he's gonna fucking change the game. Instantly.
Yeah. You want to frustrate him. You don't want to
piss him off.
Poke him.
Yeah, you don't want to.
You don't want to anger him. You just want to get on. You want to frustrate him by like taking his time and space away. But you definitely don't want to take liberties with him.
Yeah, he's like a beehive. Like like how they like move a beehive. They have to like sedate them almost, and they have to like blow the smoke in there to like keep them calm, and then they can move it.
Yeah,
like that's what you want to do to like get through a game with Ovechkin. Because if you poke it and then like the bees start to come out and he starts to fucking sting, he's gonna fucking just annihilate. He's gonna leave you fucking lumped up and fucking lost.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. Ovechkin, for my money, being like, obviously, you can make arguments for now that he's second most goals in the history, you can make an argument that he is obviously the second best goal scorer ever. Some people would argue that other people are more pure goal scorers, better goal scorers, whatever, blah blah blah. Better
call it what you want to call it.
For my money, watching a player from the beginning of his career till where he is now, and just like actually like remembering the full like progression of it, Ovechkin's got to be like one of the best player I've seen.
Yeah, it's special, and it's so like it became harder to score in the league. That was what they said, like all the goalies' numbers were better.
Mm-hmm.
I remember there was a time where like if you were in the twos goals against average, anywhere in the twos, it was like pretty good.
Yeah.
If you were in the threes, it was like not so good. Now you got to be in like the mid twos, like to be considered good. So like
anything,
goal scoring is technically down, and yearly they make all these little subtle changes to kind of like make the offense better. Let's shrink the goalie's equipment. Let's take away the blue line. Let's do all these things to like try to
restrict them where they can go
to try to take away Devils hockey. The Devils did this, but so like.
Thanks, Lou.
Yeah.
Thanks for fucking up the Islanders and fucking up the league.
Well, I mean, I can't say that. I like Lou. I see him all the time. Hi, Lou. You're doing great. Just stay awake. Just stay awake. No, he does. He's very, very, he's probably more awake than I am most of the time. But anyway.
Just watching this team, it's hard to stay awake.
I digress. But it's that the neutral zone. They took that away, and then they're doing things to increase the scoring, and it's not running off to everybody. It's like these it's this, but it is lately. Like for a long time, I remember one year, I think 40 something goals won the Art, like 47 goals won the Art Ross in a full season.
Yeah.
But now I think there's like multiple guys like
guys
40
that are going to have 40 plus goals. Yeah. And not even like, and it used to be if you were scoring 40, you were a top player in the league.
Yeah.
A top player in the league. And now,
yeah.
And like it used to be like it used to be 20 goal threshold. You know, it used to be like, oh yeah, the guy's got, guy's a 20 goal scorer perennial. And now like, oh yeah, 20 goals are nice, but it's like we want 25 goal scorers, we want 30 goal scorers,
Right.
And like because now, like you said, 60 some
they're out
goals.
There. Yeah. They're out there. They're all over the place. And they're coming from everywhere. There's new guys like Troy Terry a couple seasons ago became one of those
Jason
guys.
Robertson. Out of nowhere,
even this year, Sam Reinhart's got almost 40 goals.
He's going to score 45. Yeah.
That one year Skinner.
Yeah, Skinner had
and he's fallen off a lot. He was almost not quite to the level of Jonathan Chichu, but he was like almost like a one season wonder.
Yeah, and it's crazy because that's a team that just for some reason just can't seem to figure it out.
Yeah,
I'm talking about the friggin' Sabres, like like. It just keeps seeming to be like, oh, this is your year, this is their year, this is their year, this is their
year. They have
a
weird mix of talent. They have a good mix of youth. They have a lot of good talent on that team, but again, it's got to be chemistry. You got to have the right mix. You got to have guys that are playing well together. You got to have the right coaches telling them what to do. The right guidance. You need to instill the right culture. And right now, the culture in Buffalo is guys don't really want to be there, and they don't want to stay there, and they've shown that.
Yeah.
So until something changes, they kind of have like what the Islanders had for like years and years and years, and still kind of have a little bit. They don't have much appeal.
Yeah.
But they have a boatload of young talent over there. So like. Yeah, the Sabres. But here's my point about the goals, though. Although, like, it dipped for a while because it was like, okay, it was harder to score. Maybe the goals were spread out a lot more. Like, and back in the day, you were dependent more upon your main guys. Yeah. Now we're in a time where the upper elite are like Connor McDavid, Austin Matthews, Nathan McKinnon,
yep.
Kucherov, and Pasternak.
Yeah,
and it got Crosby still too, but Crosby's like he's not Crosby to that level anymore. But there's guys up there like, it's everyone I just named, literally. But those guys are like leagues above everybody else. And those are the guys that are going to get your 50 goals. They're going to threaten for 60. Austin Matthews might have a fucking 70 goal season this year.
Yeah. It's really
he might have more than that. Yeah. Because he's got 6 hat or I think they showed 11% of the games he's played in. He has a hat trick, which is like, it's just not normal.
It looks like he scored tonight because now he's got 51 goals.
Yeah, he had to have then.
So he scored again tonight. The guy just scores every.
God help Aiden Hill tonight.
And look, Sam Reinhart is second in the league.
He's in God mode, Austin Matthews. He is in absolute God mode.
Sam Reinhart is second in the league with fucking 39 goals.
Yeah.
39 goals. Austin Matthews has 51.
Yeah. It's almost like reliving Gretzky when he was separated.
I was just going to say that
degree, but like.
So I don't know if you guys, any for the, one person that's listening besides me and you that are talking to each other.
Well, I hope there's women listening because I got something for them in a little bit.
Oh yeah, you're gonna serenade them in the streets of LA.
No serenades tonight, please. But it's gonna end. Plus, I'm married. But it's gonna be. I got something for you, hockey fan.
Excellent,
ladies.
So yeah, I don't. So when Gretzky scored 50 goals in 50 games. I don't remember the exact name of the announcer.
He scored 50 goals in 38 games.
He scored 50 goals in 38 games. The announcer says he's got 50 goals before anybody's even got 30.
Correct. And I don't know if that was true. Was it?
Yeah.
That's just insane. I mean, the separation, obviously, he had 92 goals that year. He was scoring over a goal a game clip. Matthews is like just under that. Like, not much. I think 56 games, he's got 51 goals. He could potentially, if he heats up the right way, he could score 80 goals. Who knows?
Yeah.
You know he's going to be pushing for it if he keeps rolling.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no reason why he can't score a goal a night.
So since, let's just say in the modern era, right?
What did Kucherov have last season? Was Kucherov? No, was it Kucherov who led the league last season, or was it McDavid? Was it
in goals? I think it was Pasta and somebody. I thought it was a tie.
Or Robertson?
Oh, maybe Robertson. Actually, I
don't know. Here I am. We're rolling like a roll.
I know.
I just go and drop a dumbass fucking stupid question.
Well, we got to know these things. These are things that we're told. They come up. Art Ross Trophy.
When we have our statistician in place next year for the 2025 season.
No, Steven Schmalf is here. Or is it Eric Hornick? Who is their statistician?
Yeah.
I thought there was a tie in this. That might have been the year before. I gotta be real. It was Connor McDavid.
Connor McDavid, yeah.
It was Connor McDavid. Didn't he have 60?
Yeah.
Or so like it's about to lead up to the question I was gonna ask. Right?
64. No, that's the season. 64 assists last season. Yeah,
64 goals.
64 goals last year.
So this goes to my question: modern era, right?
So he needs. To cut you off. So Matthews needs 13 goals in basically 29 games. 29 games. Let's see how many.
To do what?
To just get the 64 that.
To get that, yeah. Well, that's leading to my question. Is like what modern era? What is the most amount of goals scored? Because the most I can remember was Steven Stamkos had a 70 goal season.
Yeah, 72, right? 71, 72.
I think it was 70 flat. I could be wrong. I think it was 70 flat, but
let's see.
I'm almost positive he had. If not, it was a 60. It was definitely 60.
Steve Stamkos. How many Steve?
Well, it's Steven. I don't think anyone calls him Steve. I don't even think his mom calls him Steve. It's like Steven. Steven Stamkos. So he had a lot of goals for like a number of years straight. He was the guy. He was just lighting the fucking league up. He's still doing it. I mean, he has 30 something this year, right?
Yes. 59, 53, 64.
Oh, he only has 23 this year?
60.
He's got 50 points, though, in 54 games. So he didn't have 70? Who had 70? He had 60. Oh, who had 70?
Who would have had 70 goals? Yager, maybe?
And what's modern era since like 90? I want to say post 95 or 95. Because even in 93, there was like, you remember 93 was the year that like Pierre Turgeon had 132 points and was like 5th in the league. He had 58 goals.
All right, so Gretzky,
and it was like 6th in the league.
So Gretzky has the two most, 92, 87. Then Brett Hull had 86. Lemieux scored 85. Alexander Mogilny, he had 76.
And Solani same year.
Solani also had 76.
Well, that was that year. It was 93. That's the year I was just talking about. There was a lot of goals scored that year, and it came from a lot of top-end guys.
Yeah.
LaFontaine had a shit ton of goals that year. He had LaFontaine. Because I feel like he had more than
Pavel
Turgeon.
Bure had 60 his rookie season.
Pavel Bure had 60 in his rookie season?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because I remember he broke Bossy's record. Oh, no, he didn't. Hold on.
Well, no, second season.
I was going to say no, because Solani broke Bossy's record, but he didn't just break it. He shattered it. Because Bossy's record was 53? I'm almost positive Mike Bossy had the goal-scoring rookie record with 53. Like you said, someone had 60. but I was almost positive it was
76
Solani.
goals. Yeah, Solani had said that's who it was, not Boré. Yeah, 76 goals.
Boré scored a bunch of. He piled up goals quickly, but he couldn't stay healthy.
Yeah,
it's dirty hit error. People always taking his knees out and shit.
Sure.
Yeah, but so the scoring, Austin Matthews, this was a long point we made, but Austin Matthews is far and away the best goal scorer in the league, hands down. This season. But here's the thing, and I this is why I really brought him as because we just came off Ovechkin. Austin Matthews has more goals to the point of his career he's at than Ovechkin had at the point of career he was at.
Yeah.
So he's on pace to actually score more than Ovechkin. So before all is said and done, the unbreakable record might get broken twice.
I don't think it get broken either one.
I hope not, because the child in me who hated Wayne Gretzky and the adolescent in me who grew up to respect him so much.
Yeah.
And then the adult who just knows that everything I've seen since him has just never been anything like him. Yeah. And it just, there's a reason in a time with so many skilled guys with like Bossy and Lafleur and Esposito and this guy was just so much better than everybody else.
Everybody. Look, the one stat that I always, when anybody loves to say whatever about they want to say about who's the best player ever, the one stat that I always point out, Wayne Gretzky doesn't even have to ever score a single goal his entire career, and the guy would still lead the entire league in points accumulated with just his assists.
Correct. And that
just think about that. Yeah. Just think about that. He would never score if he never scored a goal in his entire career, but he scored 92 of them in one season. And don't forget, he leads the entire league history in goals scored.
Yeah, it's so there's no people could say Lemieux and there for natural ability there could be a point, but nobody had the complete package vision. Everything. Just knowing where to be, and they said it was a specific way he learned how to play, and just drawing lines about puck patterns and where everything was. He was a student of
angles,
geometry,
and everything. So he tells the story about riding the bus with Bobby Orr's son, and he talks about how Bobby Orr's son, he became a doctor, very smart guy. He says that his son only was playing because his dad wanted him to play, and he said, he's like, I'm going to play a couple seasons for you, and then I want to pursue becoming a doctor, and that's what he did. And he said that he would always have books every time they would go on a road trip. His son would just have books in his hand. He would just have piles of books. So he said to him, Wayne, you're going to have to carry around books because if something happens in life after hockey, you're going to need you're going to have a career to fall back on. So he's like, all right, whatever. So he said the next road trip they go on, he comes in and he's got a stack of books, and they're all Bobby Orr, How to Be a Hockey Player, Bobby Orr this, Bobby Orr that book, another book by Bobby Orr, another book about hockey. And he's like, what are these? And he's like, you want to be a doctor? I want to be a hockey player. And he's like, and that's just how it was. And it's like, but that's what it was. He learned.
The great one.
He learned.
The greatest one.
Yeah. And another one of the stories that I always that I heard him tell was a lot of parents ask how often he practiced and how much he practiced and he would try and tell they would try and have him tell their kids, oh, you got to practice to be good. You got to be good. If you want to be good, you got to practice all this time. And he always say, I didn't see it as practice. He's like, I love being out there. He's like, you can't push him. He's like, I loved being out there. I never saw it as practice. I just saw it as doing what I loved. It's like from the time I was a kid, it's just what I loved. And it's what I wanted to do.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the most natural approach. I mean, it's literally the one person you can and there's probably a few, but that you could be like, this person was born to do this, and they found it.
Yeah.
Somehow they found it because there's just no one else like them. And that assist stat that you mentioned is just, it's just the assists alone top anybody else in the history of the league's point totals, which is goals and assists.
Goals and
just as assists.
Just as assists. Yeah.
Cover all categories.
Yeah, and that season that we were talking about, where he broke the single season record, shattered the single season record with 92 goals.
Right.
Oh, I think he had like 146 or 156 assists that season.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and we could go on. We could go on forever.
Think about that. Like, that's insane.
Yeah.
Fucking insane. Like last season, to put that into perspective, last season McDavid had one of the best seasons ever. Like pretty much ever, because he had like 151 points or 150 something points last season. That's what Gretzky had in assists in one season.
Right. Yeah. it's unbelievable. And the talent he had around him was a little different, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
But if you think about it, it's even crazier, because like he had some talent, obviously Messier and Curry, and he had some.
Well, Messier didn't even play on his line most of the time.
But I mean, Draisaitl doesn't really play on
correct
the line with.
Well, he has been lately, the last few games, because I'm always all over that. They loaded up top, but they have good chemistry. I think it's Draisaitl. It's been Draisaitl, McDavid, and Perry since they got
Perry. Yeah, because at the beginning of the season, Draisaitl for the most of the time,
great balance.
For the most time,
Perry to that.
For the most part, they've had Draisaitl playing second line.
Yeah.
But I mean, it doesn't matter. It's just the guy is unbelievable.
Well, the other. I mean, we could be here all night talking about Gretzky, but
during the off season, we'll have a Gretzky.
I mean, of all the stats,
by then we're going to be big enough to have Gretzky on talking.
Yeah, I'm sure he's going to come on here. I mean, we'll just offer him. I can't say that.
We'll offer him a couple pizzas.
Okay, you could say that.
Wayne, Mr. Gretzky, Mr. Wayne Gretzky, if you are listening and you are interested in coming on our podcast, I promise you, I will give you as much pizza as you and your entire family would like.
And it's really good.
Forever.
So next time you're on Long Island.
Forever.
Remember, Long Island, New York pizza, and this guy.
Yeah.
You're going to want to stop in. But anyway, so the other thing that's mind-boggling, and this is a trivia question for a lot of sports, like I've seen it on Jeopardy, I've seen it at random places, like I've seen it pop up on watching games, but the history of the NHL has seen a player score 200 points 4 times. The names of the players who have scored 4 times are Wayne Gretzky, Wayne Gretzky, Wayne Gretzky, and Wayne Gretzky.
Yeah. It's kind of like the.
So he didn't just do it once; he did it 4 times. What no one else could do once.
No, but yeah, but there's.
I'll just do it 4 times.
But there are other players that are better than him. You know who the top 5 rappers of all time are? Dylan, and Dylan. Chappelle?
Oh no!
You don't know that? You don't.
I don't remember that.
Oh, that's the freaking. That's the Making the Band episode where they freaking with Puff Daddy.
I'd love to talk about the top 5 rappers, but we're not
We can do that on another episode.
Yeah, well, one of these times we're just going to open it up to a little something else too.
Yeah,
I think.
Speaking of which, I'm going to give a little shout out to our commander, editor in chief, our filmographer, our archivist, our person in the annals of history, helping us get everything together, Jackson.
And check out the last podcast, Stumbling Down History Road.
Check out the
Black History Month. That shit was tripping. You gotta check it out.
And this Sunday we're gonna have a live podcast. I'll be there. So if that deters you guys, then I won't be there.
I won't be there, so you guys don't have to worry about that.
Well, actually, I was going to extend a personal invite for you to join us. You can call in.
I could call in?
Yeah, you can call in from the
I've always wanted to be a call-in interview.
Yeah, you can be naked from the waist down, and not a single person would know.
That's not true. I have been called and interviewed by John Lander from Z100, but I got pranked. That's for another story.
Yeah, I gotta hear that story. It sounds amazing.
Yeah, one of my best friends and her mom, they used to take me to school every morning, and I used to listen to John Lander in the morning. And funniest thing, because I used to, these people, every time they'd get had, they would be like, "Oh, you know, I listen to your show all the time," and I'm like, "Okay, yeah, you listen to if you listen to the show all the time, you would have fucking known it was him."
You would have known. Yeah.
So I got, and I can honestly say from that side of it, he doesn't sound exactly the same
on the phone, right?
On the other side of the phone, it's on the radio.
It's crazy how different they sound on the radio than they do when you actually like listen. Because I've been on the radio a couple of times, call in radio. Like
right.
I called in DiPietro. And I was like, and I forgot who I was asking him about. And I was like, oh, the Islanders are Bush League again. So, because they were going to send down somebody before the 9-game fucking, so that they can roll over another year of the contract.
Oh, okay.
Typical Islander bullshit. I'm like, the guy's playing better than anybody on the team. Like typical Islander Bush League crap. It's like, I don't know if it's whatever. But like when you listen to him talking, completely different. So go on with the story. So I'm just collaborating what you're saying.
Oh yeah, no, that's the story. I got.
What happened? Like,
I had my appendix out. It was 1993. I was 16 or 17. I don't know. I was still in school though, because I was walking home from school one day and I just felt the pain in my side and wouldn't shut up about it. So my mom took me to the hospital. And I had my appendix out. I was in there for a couple days, and then they sent me home. And when they sent me home, I had its instructions and all that. So like, they knew my situation. So when they called to have me pranked, they let him know that I just had an appendix out, and he kind of posed as a doctor. He called himself Dr. Kildare, and I was too young at the time to understand that was like a famous, like fictitious name, I guess.
Yeah. Okay.
So I had no idea. I was just oblivious. This is why this made the radio people, because I sounded so oblivious. And they edit things, by the way. They'll leave things out like that you say, and it just it makes other things out of context.
Yeah.
But they make it enjoyable for the listener for sure. And it was.
Did you get to ever listen to it?
Oh yeah, no. It's so funny that the ending to this story ends when pretty much we knew when it was airing, and we told some people. And like I said, I used to ride to school with her. Her mom used to take us, so we rode up. And the show goes on. There's like multiple calls, and usually we would catch the first one, then we'd have to go into the school. So I was, I guess, one of the later ones. And so we were sitting in the car listening, and like we were going to be late, but there was a bunch of cars behind us also listening, because, they announced me, Rich Marino, he's this year old. And so like, and that was everyone listened to Z100. Yeah. So they probably were like, oh my God, I know him. And then the other people who actually knew, like the handful of people I talked to in the school. But yeah, after the call was over, got out of the car. Everyone else got out of the car. There was a lot of commotion. People were laughing, and a lot of people went to the office to sign in late.
That's awesome. That's great.
Yeah, I can verify that story with my friend Angela.
She's amazing.
She's the one who pranked me.
Good fun.
Love it. Yeah, not hockey, but definitely.
No, that's fun. Awesome. That's
definitely
amazing.
Good fun.
Yeah.
And I kept it short. That was good for me. Like if you think that wasn't short, oh God, I spared you some normal Richie stories.
Yeah, don't worry, because if you've heard me freaking ramble on just about trying to figure out how to get out my point on this podcast, then you know that I'm long-winded as fuck. But all right, I guess on that note, our production team, Senor Stumbling Down History Road,
60-second. Actually, 1 minute and 20 seconds about it, because I promised the ladies.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I promised the ladies. We had another crazy year of the Best of series. Okay. We had, and of course, I lost it now. There it is. Team USA was up 3-0.
Okay.
Okay. Against Team Canada. Now, the game 5 was in December. It was shortly after game 4, right?
I think that's usually how they do the count.
Oh no, I'm sorry. It was game 4 was shortly after game 3. So right after going down 3-0, they won in a shootout, Canada, to stay alive. USA was up 1-0 in that game. And then Canada scored 2, and then USA had to tie it late. So they had a chance to close it out. Canada let them Canada scored. I think they buried like almost every girl scored for Canada in the shootout, and it wasn't so good for US. Down 3-1. And I'm not going to go into the whole thing, but I will just tell you, when I watch some of these games, absolute control, absolute dominance. Some of those games were close for a while, but Canada pulled away at the right times. From the time they blew that shootout game and couldn't close it out, they got outscored 13-3. They were shut out in game 6, and decisive game 7, they get shit stomped 6-1. So can I just tell you,
that's a dominant thing.
Not many 3-0 comebacks in the history of professional sports. Now this is more of like a competitive series. Yeah. It's not like, it wasn't a tournament or anything. It's just a USA Canada series, but it's still pretty crazy.
Yeah, no, it's still, absolutely.
And it shows how great both sides are. Like, I saw some goals scored by some of these girls, Jenner. And what's her name? I'm not making myself look good here at all. The right wing. It's not. I could just cheap be like Hillary Knight, but it's not Hillary Knight. All right, it doesn't matter. They're amazing. The talent, had a second goal, and she really just came through at the right time, and I'd say that was my MVP for that series was Debian.
Yeah,
for sure.
On that note, recently in the PWHL, they just had the record attendance for most attended game for a women's hockey game.
Okay,
that happened, I think, a week ago or so, or whatever. So that it's good to see that league is still has a lot of hype around it, and it's a great league. Those athletes are out there, and they're freaking awesome. They're talented, and they're engaged in every game. They're hitting. They're going at each other. They're definitely there. They want to win, and it's good to see. It's definitely good to see because unfortunately there wasn't much luck with a couple of the other attempts to get some professional women's hockey leagues, and it looks like that this one's going to stay, and it's good to see for sure. But on that note, we've
Gabby Hughes.
Yep,
it was Gabby Hughes.
Right. Any relation to Jack Hughes and the Hughes family by any chance, or is that just a?
I know, because I think are the Hughes brothers American? I think they aren't. They not. Or are they? I thought they were Canadian.
Maybe. We should probably know these things, considering we are the proprietors.
So she's from Minnesota. And Jack Hughes is from
Orlando, Florida.
Get the fuck out of here.
That's what it says. Birthplace.
What about Luke Hughes? Let me look up Luke Hughes. Because there's no way this kid grew up in Florida. Bro. No, so see, he was born in New Hampshire.
Okay.
So they wised up by then, got the fuck out of Florida.
Like, if we want to produce 3 elite hockey players, we're probably going to have to leave Florida.
Correct. Yeah. Like, this one's naturally gifted, but the others got to...
the other ones are going to need a little bit of cold.
Go to New Hampshire.
Yeah. Going to need to chill these guys out a little bit. So, all right. On that note, we really appreciate you guys spending some time with us.
We do. It was
fun.
fun.
Hopefully you guys had as much fun listening to us as we had talking to you guys. And we are hopefully going to be back at this on a weekly basis once our schedules clear out and our hectic real lives are not so real. They're just lives. But yeah, Rich, you have anything to add?
Just that John Tavares. I just hope he spends an uncomfortable evening on the toilet at some point in the near future, just for added karma, because I don't like him, and I know what that's like. It's very unpleasant. So I wish that on him.
All right, so
I don't want to wish him real harm.
Yeah, just a little bellyache.
A little bellyache.
Yeah, maybe a little rotten food. Yeah,
I don't know about that. I don't want to poison the guy, but
nothing that sends him to the hospital. But I mean, he's got to have a bellyache from something.
Yeah, it's true. I'll just let it go.
Maybe he's just going to be sick from how bad the team plays tonight.
I just want him to be disappointed. That's what I settled on last time. I always want to increase it a little bit, but let's just keep it on disappointment.
Okay.
I feel like the last time I wished harm on him, he got destroyed by Corey Perry and almost died, and I felt really bad about that.
Like fuck.
I'm like, is that my fault?
Fuck, I'm gonna win $1 million. I'm gonna win $1 million.
I'm like, I didn't really mean it, and I kind of didn't. Like, I mean, yeah, you have the emotion, but you don't really want to see someone get fucking hurt.
No,
you're like, oh. I just wanted him to lose.
Just not physical pain, just maybe some mental anguish over a lot of losing. Yeah. So all right. Again, we really appreciate you spending some time with us, and whatever you guys do going forward, make sure you aim top 90.
Top 90.